Welcome back to Texas Tiger Tavern. I'm your host, Jenny Myers, and this is Tavern Talk, where we discuss and discover alcoholic drinks to hopefully demystify the world of drinking at home and at the bar. Today on the list we have a Tom Collins, which is made with gin, and we'll be talking about a little more about gin and what we've discovered. I'm also with my friend Matt today. Matt, say hello.
Hi, I'm Matt.
This is Matt. But let's start off how we start off almost every other podcast, with a drink. Today, a Tom Collins, garnished with cherry and lime.
It's got a party flavor.
I think this is like on the same level of like a vodka soda, gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Something with like literally just two ingredients. Whiskey, Coke. Very basic. Have in the house.
A very bar drink that anybody can order and anybody can like it.
Yeah, even if it's not on the list.
Like, I'm not a big gin drinker, but like I like this.
Yeah. Oh, Matt's never had gin, so you guys are...
I'm a newbie today.
Newbies. And we love to see it. A Tom Collins has... Gin, obviously. Seltzer water. A lime garnish, cherry garnish.
Lemon.
And lemon juice. Pretty basic household drinks, bar drinks.
Something that we made, no problem.
No problem. It's a shaken drink in a tall glass with plenty of ice. I have no problem with this. I could drink this and be... Content. I could order more if there was nothing else on the list that I didn't want to have.
Or it's a drink that like I don't think I could get... This would be like a very fancy drink. Like I'd order if I was at like a really nice house party or a wedding. If I wanted to look classier, I would order this.
Yes.
Where I could still have a good time with it, and then...
Yes. No, I see that completely, just because, you know, it's nothing crazy where it's like
that's what
a pina colada.
When it was created, that's what they considered it as. It was the fanciest drink around.
A Tom Collins.
A Tom Collins was the fanciest drink around.
Who would have thought? That Tom Collins is literally a first and last name.
I mean, think about that. Like, to think about like even the history of it is a whole joke in itself.
We
did some research.
Which
is what we're gonna do from now on with all of our drinks.
Obviously, the first podcast was a little spry of the moment, but now we have a little more structure. I got some insight from my so-called manager / producer, Matt.
/ best friend.
/ best friend for sure. And then some other friends as well, sent that to them. Some didn't have a lot to say because it was so good. It was so fantastic that they were like...
It was a good jumping off point, especially for a podcast about something that a lot of people do not talk about, do not discuss.
Yeah, it seems taboo sometimes. I don't know why, but that's just one of the things. I think with our generation will be more common to talk about alcoholic drinking.
I think it's just the day and age we're raised in. I mean, really.
I mean, we're in a panorama.
I love panorama. History.
Tom Collins, first name, last name. We found out that Tom Collins, the drink, was based off of...
It was a 1874 joke. People would come into bars, friends would say, there's this guy in this other bar
named Tom Collins
talking trash
about
saying that you can't drink or whatever, and that friend would end up the person that the joke would be about would go to that bar and say, where's this Tom Collins? And the bartender would be like, there is no Tom Collins. I mean, it's a whole joke about...
It's fake news.
It was the original fake news. There was actual articles in the newspaper about this man calling people out, but it was all fake. It was all fake.
To promote, and that's honestly branding.
I mean, that's
promotions. That is getting the word out.
and think about it. You could get, like, if your friend doesn't like a certain bar, even if they don't know about this bar, you tell them, oh, they're at this certain bar, and you tell them, hey, this guy's making fun of you. You're gonna go there, and you're gonna go to the bar. Yeah, you're gonna go there and protect your name.
Of course, especially in 1876.
74. It wasn't until 76 that a man named Jerry Thomas, a New York bartender who pretty much brought around the mixology of cocktail making, created this drink. And as we said, it was the fanciest drink at the time.
And still kind of is.
Like I said, it's a very fancy drink.
It's a fancy drink.
Like, I could look at this and I'd be like, wow.
Because it's clear.
It's a clear drink, so it reminds you of more like, it could be a champagne, but it's not in a champagne glass.
No, it's in a heavy glass with ice and very clear enough to be like, oh, I'm drinking water with a nice garnish. This is what it reminds me of. Do you know ranch water?
No.
It's a big thing in Texas.
Ranch water.
Ranch water is like tequila, a Topo Chico, and salt. I could be wrong. I'm sure my friend Mikey will tell me that I'm wrong, but it's basic and it's a household ingredient.
So kind of like moonshine.
Moonshine was not a household ingredient.
That's what I think of. But continue. Anyways.
But I went to the thrift store the other day and I did find a gin making kit. I almost got it. I should have got it. That would have been content, I will say.
Do you know how to make gin?
It would have told me. It had the juniper berries, it had a funnel, it had a bottle. I was going to buy it just for the funnel and the bottle. Honestly.
So what is gin? That was a really good segue. I was like, so what is gin? Since I'm new to gin, I don't know what gin is. So tell me what gin is, Miss Mixologist. This is your tavern.
This is my tavern.
The Texas Tiger Tavern.
Okay. Gin is from Holland, which is in
Netherlands.
The Netherlands, of course, as everybody would know, especially Siri. But in basic layman's terms, gin is flavored vodka. And the thing about gin is it's made with these things called juniper berries.
Is what it's made of. Okay.
Is what it's made of, and it's very floral.
Why am I saying that I know the guy's name?
Of course, because you're halfway to being a gin expert at this point. So in front of me, I have Bombay Sapphire Distilled London Dry Gin.
Very classic gin.
Imported from England, of course. But on the bottle, it says all of the ingredients that go into this gin. Very floral notes. Lemon peel, almonds from Spain, juniper berries from Italy, and a lot more ingredients that I genuinely can't say. Oh, coriander.
So
from Morocco.
This has to be a very old-timey drink back when all they had was just floral. It was nothing.
They're pulling these things with their hands.
From the ground. So this is a very natural drink, not a very.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, natural.
It's not a chemical
made from
drink.
Hand.
It's an old-timey drink.
Even
farther back than Tom Collins.
Yeah. They're going to say Tom Holland.
I wasn't about to say Tom Holland.
They have a lady. I don't even know who this lady is.
Queen of England? That's the Queen of England. The fact that you don't know what the Queen of England looks like.
How would I know who the Queen of England is? They're going to show...
Queen Elizabeth II. I think that's Queen Elizabeth I.
I don't know. She's been alive a long time.
Queen Elizabeth II has been a long freaking time.
Bombay Sapphire says that Bombay Sapphire is the result of 10 carefully selected botanical ingredients coupled with a unique distillation process. The spirit vapor from the distillation then gently passes through a copper basket containing the botanicals. This infuses a subtle aromatic flavor from each of the botanicals into the spirit of a cleanser, crisper, and balanced taste.
Queen Victoria. I was wrong.
Queen Victoria. I told you. There's no way.
Well, it could have been Queen Elizabeth I. However, Queen Elizabeth II is the current reigning monarch.
So, since Matthew is new to this gin thing, I think it'd be nice for you to taste gin by itself.
Okay, I'm down.
If you want to get that glass right over there.
Ooh, nice long reach.
On the nose, what are we smelling?
I'm smelling a vodka flower, really. That's
not because I told you.
No, but it has a very.
It's very floral.
It is very floral. However,
word.
I get a hint of vodka in there. That strong,
of course,
hint of vodka. No, which vodka is very strong.
I think this definitely goes down like a vodka of having that after hard taste. What do we think? There's that vodka,
It's got that vodka
that
heat.
Breath at the end.
It's got that hot breath that you normally take at the end of a vodka shot. If you take vodka shots. but it's got that hotness to it. It doesn't hit you in the throat, it hits you in the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really nice change from a lot of stuff that I drink. I have a different palate than most people. I don't taste the flowery, the floral, the natural herbs that are in there.
Yeah.
Compared to most people would, but it still has a very natural taste.
Yeah. And I think that natural taste on the tongue just gives me flowery vibes, just floral in the sense of, because you know me, I drink more whiskey, scotch.
Yeah, you have more of that ground flavor in your mouth.
I'm tasting more grain every day, just grain. Whereas this is really, it's light in a sense, but like you said, it has that heat.
Well, with whiskey, it's made from grain, so you're gonna taste that grain more. Whereas gin, from what you said, like a plant-based rather than a grain-based.
Yeah. So
you're gonna taste, I wouldn't say the ground more, but maybe more of the water.
Yeah, and
it's got more of a watery taste. Really, it's got a more of a watery taste.
No, and I think that's why it goes so well in this Tom Collins, because there's not a lot of ingredients that go into it. Now that you've tasted gin, can you taste the gin in the Tom Collins?
Yes and no. I get a hint of that heat on my tongue, but it's really hidden behind the lime and the soda. The soda is really prevalent behind it. With the pours, it's whatever. However, I can still taste that gin in there, so I can still feel it.
I feel the gin at the back of the tongue, but this just goes down
it's smooth.
Very well.
It's very smooth. If you're a person who doesn't like that nasty flavor going down the back of your throat when you drink alcohol, this is probably a really good drink for you, because
if you drink LaCroix,
yeah,
where you're like, I just love the
tingle in the mouth.
Yes,
which is really what hit. That's probably the most prevalent thing with this drink, is that it has a very good tingle in the mouth. It's a good tingle. It's not a nasty tingle. It's not a bad tingle. Because personally, I do not prefer LaCroix, but
me neither. I'll say it.
But this, and it's a really good drink for what it is, especially with the LaCroix in it. I'd get it again. I'd get this at the bar. I'd
make it for friends if they were like, make me something real quick.
What would you say the difficulty of this drink would be to make at home? If you have the right recipes. If you have the right stuff to make it.
If you have all the stuff. But the thing is,
even if you're grabbing scraps, like a random gin,
which I think we'll talk about later, is that there's certain things that you'll just have making drinks at home.
As you go along, yeah.
One of the things is lemons and limes. Is two of the things you'll
always have. Lemon, lime, and oranges. Oranges. Very classic, but a lot of cocktails that are made nowadays have a lot of orange, a lot of limes, a lot of lemons.
Yes, and especially for garnish as well too.
I don't see a lot of lemon garnishes. I see a lot of lime garnishes.
Yes, I do too.
Garnish wise, or oranges and limes, whereas you'll find a lot of lemon juice in your drink compared to lime juice in your drink.
Yeah. I think the next thing that is something you can just have in your house is the LaCroix or the soda waters.
Something that,
just
you need a soda water, especially if you're starting out like we are, even though we're novices.
There's a lot of recipes that have
soda water. Honestly, it adds to the drink. If you didn't have it,
the
then
bubbles,
it adds that classiness to it.
I definitely agree. I'd say difficulty 1 out of 10. 10 being you're doing flips and tricks. 1 being
you're doing
pour in glass and stir.
You just stir. Add the drinks together. Add all the mixture together and just pour it in.
This was a shake and drink, and
that takes a little bit of skill.
A
little endurance.
I'd say this is no more than a 3 or 4.
I would have said a 3 or 2. So a solid 3.
We'll give it a 3. Difficulty
a solid 3.
Is a 3. Taste is a good. I'd say I give it a 7 because it's not very flavorful for me. Like, I would love more fruit.
I'd put it at a 5.
Really?
The only reason why I would drink it is at a fancy occasion. And even though I do go to a lot of fancy occasions, which I do.
Yes.
I just don't see myself getting it consistently.
Okay.
It's a great flavor, it's a great taste. I don't mind it. There's no reason to
ask for it.
Ask for a Tom Collins. Other than
just to
for
try.
after this episode being like, haha, I remember this joke that it was a joke.
But you should try it to see.
And that's the thing is when you go. So if you go to a bar, it's gonna taste different every time you. Anywhere you go, it's gonna be different.
Of course.
And that's one of the coolest things about alcohol in general. Mixology is that
the chemistry of it all.
Yeah, and the mixing. It is really based on where you go. It's always different. That's probably the coolest thing about this thing. I give it a 10 on presentation, but I'm biased.
Of course.
I'm biased.
No, I think it gives off, now that I used a lime instead of a lemon. I'll be honest, but
I think it does better with the lime.
I think it does too.
Because it adds
and
that
that's
contrast.
that ranch water kind of idea to it. And I think that's the lime. Looking it up at Total Wine, a half a liter bottle of gin is about $20, which is
that's a little pricey
for half a.
Now, are we talking a good bottle of gin, or are we talking like an average bottle of gin?
That's what I'm saying. A Bombay.
Bombay is a very generic. Like, I see it everywhere I go. Whenever I go shopping for a nice bottle that I would like to have, like to try, I see it everywhere. Especially the Sapphire. The Sapphire is everywhere.
Yes, I see that too. Okay, so looking at Total Wine right now, everything's averaging
around $30.
Around $30.
There's some that are above it, but
this is $30 and half a liter. Let's check out Aviation. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to see what Aviation Gin is.
Aviation Gin.
That's not a bad price.
Half a liter is $20. This is a whole liter.
That's a whole liter?
That's what I'm saying.
And then a whole liter of Aviation is a little too pricey for my price range, which is something you need to pay attention to when you do go buy stuff. Is you need to find something that you like, but you also need to keep in mind your price range, because after a while, we do know that it costs. It will put a hole in your pocket at some point.
But I think that's the idea of making cocktails at home. If you know you're gonna make a lot of them, then it'll be worth the price.
Like us, we do make a lot of cocktails at home, and that's another thing when you do go out to the bars is you need to recognize that those drinks are slightly overpriced.
Of course, for all margins and all that stuff, but obviously a liter of gin costs $40. So
Aviation Gin. Normal gin is about $30. And an average of $30.
But I think it's worth. I think the price.
It's a good investment.
I think the price at the bar is worth it to try it, to see if you like it or not, to invest. Like,
I don't know what a normal bar would it cost.
I'd say about $8. $8-12 between 8 and 12.
I'd say closer to 12.
$12 for Tom Collins at a bar.
Whereas you could $12 for a drink that will cost you over $12, but if you really like this drink, which again I wouldn't mind making for myself again, or make it all the time, but it's definitely cheaper to make at home than it is. What you're gonna find is everywhere you go, it's gonna be cheaper to make at home, but
of course
the atmosphere is always gonna
to
improve that drink.
Figure out if you like the drink or not. I think it's worth the $12 to be like, I don't like this.
If you don't have the materials to make it for yourself, go out to a bar, spend that quick $12, find out if you like it,
and if not,
and then come home, decide if you want to make it for yourself or not, and then spend that money. That's the best thing you can do.
I think Tom Collins treated us well today.
Definitely.
For the people at home, the recipe that we used was 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, a shake, pour, top with seltzer with ice. Garnish with a lime wedge and a maraschino cherry.
Ooh.
Post it on Instagram and bada bamba.
Bada bomba.
As always, leave a message or a question if you're in the Anchor app. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at TX Tavern Talk if you haven't already. You can leave questions or comments and see a video of the drinks we have made today, like the Tom Collins. or the recipe will be there attached. Thanks for listening to Tavern Talk with our guest Matt.
Thank you for inviting me.
Watch out next week where we'll be doing a doer's tasting. That's all for today. We're going to finish off the quarter handful of drink left that we have.
Whatever we got left.
Whatever we got left of this long talk. All right. Peace out.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm on my first podcast.